So we're back here, Camp Randall Platoon podcast. We bring you exclusive content.
Money Mill.
One of our guys, my fellow Badger
Big
running
dog.
back, Melvin
Let's
Gordon.
Money
Big
Mill.
dog, man. Still holding it down the league for us. Still playing for the Baltimore Ravens. So appreciate you joining us. Obviously, I don't know if you watched the game this past weekend against Iowa. Tough loss. We've been, it's a tough battle every time we play those guys. But man, it's a tough battle. I don't know if you've seen much of the Badgers this year, but like I said, we've been a little up and down. But that's definitely a game like we talked about a little bit. We thought we should have won. I mean, 15-6, we at least got to get a touchdown out of our offense.
I don't even want to talk about how late I was up watching that game. I can't sleep. Oh, man. I was in London, so
it's crazy.
I was watching it. I was watching the game, man, and I was sick, man. We couldn't pull it together. Those last couple drives, I thought we'd have a chance, and I was sick. I hate losing to anybody. Honestly, if we lose to Minnesota, I'm gonna be hurt. I'm just happy.
Yeah,
bro, I'm hurt losing. I was telling them, and I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers, but bro, it's a little embarrassing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for Warren brought it up. It's only one game in the past, couple of years that we laid.
We ain't gotta talk about the other
goose
one.
egg in our memory, and we don't gotta talk about that game, right? That was bad for all of us. That was bad for all of us. But I mean, we've always been a team that, like you said, put it together and be able to get the ball in the end zone. So for us not to be able to, score once, and we had opportunities, right? That first drive, we came out firing, 82 yards. Take the points, man. But we got a lot of fixing to do. Just being real.
And I'm sick about it. And I understand it's the first year coach and guys trying to get acclimated to the system because, it's definitely different to my eyes than what we usually used to watching as far as like, the run game. But I think we need to get like I don't want to ruffle no feathers, Somebody,
how you feel,
somebody needs to just go to the recruit with these QB.
Hey, yeah, tell them what it is.
It's the truth,
I
bro.
think us losing Malusi kind of hurt too. He added like a different dynamic. And I hate that for him. So I think that hurt us a little bit, but we just need some good quarterback play, man, and we just haven't had that in these past few years, really.
For sure.
Here, but for all us, like, do we think that is? Because I was gonna ask you that in the past segment, James. Like, do we think the quarterback the quarterback play hasn't been good, or our offensive play calling just isn't? You know what I'm saying? Because like we've been seeing, we have the guys on our outside, right? DK is good. Yeah. Green's good. Six is good. Like, we have Sky's good. Like, we got guys that have shown, right, they can get behind defenses, they can make plays. But it seems like even the first drive, we were throwing the ball, we were moving it, and then it just faded and went away. So is it the quarterback play, or is it the person that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it play calling as well?
For me, I think it's a little bit of everything. We talk about in New England a bunch. Offensively, everybody can't take a turn, making a mistake on defense. A corner can blow his coverage, but defensive lineman could get a sack in 1 second. You can kind of forget about it. Offensively, if a left guard misses block, probably going to be a sack or a bad play on the passing game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a TFL in the running game. If a receiver run the wrong route, don't get open, the quarterback ain't got nobody to throw the ball to. So I think it's a little bit of everything. Offensive line not protecting as well. When it is protected, receivers aren't open. When we get a shot behind the defense, we drop the ball. So it's kind of like everybody's taking a turn, making a mistake, and it's hard to move the ball that way. So I think it's a combination of everything. It just has to be more consistent.
I don't like any of it. I really tell you what it is. I hate watching, and I try to watch from like, I try not to watch as like a fan because I play. You play the game, you look at it a little differently than someone that hasn't played that's just in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm tired of looking at it. I ain't gonna lie to you. My expectations and hope were high, and I know some things will change. But it's just, I'm so accustomed to how things were when we played. It was just like, it was. I mean, we always knew that, you know, as far as when we went to Ohio State, as far as like talent wise, you know, they got, you know, the 5-star recruits and this and that. But, you know, we kind of beat teams with just kind of hard work and not making mistakes. Like, we just didn't make mistakes like that. So seeing it being made often, I'm just not fond of it. Like, but that's not our brand of football. And now it got me thinking, okay, is it the NIL stuff that got it? I don't know. I'm making excuses, and I don't.
He
like
said, "Pull out the bag." He said, "Start pulling out the bag."
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You got, but call a spade, bro. Like right now, where football is, you gotta like it just, you know, I don't want to.
I think.
But you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's doing it, right? Like even when you think of
from a recruiting standpoint,
like Colorado and stuff,
we're getting better.
Teams are
like,
doing
I
that.
do believe that.
Get with the
like,
program.
We've had like you can see our success. Kids like that. When you get kids on campus, like kids commit. They commit to UW and they want to come to UW. I just think the thing is like when we start going after those bigger recruits, those 5-star recruits, like now you got to do you got to take the extra step. And that's something like we weren't willing to do in the past. You know, obviously being Wisconsin, not saying that, you know, people cheating, nothing like that, but being by.
Oh, you just tell it how it is, bro.
We play by the book, but we play by the book.
I never got a check. I wish I did.
But now, I mean, for real. But now that we had that opportunity, Madison's a beautiful place. Like, each and every single one of us, there's a reason that we went, and being on campus and being a part of the culture, the winning tradition, everything that had there played a part in it. So now pub that up and then put a little bag on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like make it a combo meal.
Hey, cause if you ain't putting the bag
100%.
up, I guarantee you,
bro, we did a
Ohio State or Penn State. I guarantee you they is.
No, I just wanted to ask a question because, you know, Warren, you from Illinois, right? So we were, you know, born in the code. That's us. But as far as, you know, y'all two boys being from Florida, you know, with the NIL deal, you know, if that was like that, y'all think y'all would it have changed y'all decision? Because now you got, you know, I know it's a tough question, but it's like, okay, they offering something, and then you got to go to the code. Like,
I mean, it definitely that NIL definitely gonna play a factor in most kids' decision making, and not every player is gonna be, you know, requesting NIL or getting that NIL money up front. You got to go out there and show it, or you got to be a top recruit. But it definitely is gonna play a factor unless you have a school that you probably really wanted to go to. You know, you dreamed about going there. Like for you, Mel, like you probably dreamed about going to Wisconsin. You're from Wisconsin. Yeah, maybe if Ohio State offered you, you know, $100K to go there, you might like maybe I might pick a little bit more of my interest over there. So it's definitely gonna raise your eyebrows. Like I don't know if it would sway my decision. I was only a 3-star recruit, so much NIL probably coming my way anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it would have swayed me too much. I don't know about you, so.
James, them boys hate. They don't even know James a legend down here at St. Thomas. I don't know how he was a 3-star, but nah, that's a really good question, man. And I'm gonna keep it a bean, fam. If somebody else would have offered me blah blah blah, I ain't gonna lie. But I say that to say like I'm happy that it didn't, because like something to me that's important, bro. It's like the friendship we got, dog. Like, and that's past. That's past, you know, money or NIL or anything. Like, I genuinely, a kid from South Florida went to Wisconsin, which I tell you all the time, probably at the moment, I didn't even know where Wisconsin was. You know what I'm saying? Just being from all the way on the bottom of the map. Like, but the friendships and, you know, relationships that I was able to build with y'all boys and other players, like, that's forever. And that's what matters to me the most, you know, but. Man, this NIL thing right now, boy, it's crazy. I mean, I'm seeing kids with rolls.
Bro, you
with,
see, like when they put out like the
there's
projected
people in the league
NIL
that don't got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in the. I see there's people in the league. I know the running back for the Falcons. I mean, he had the Lamb deal. He had the Lambo deal, and that was like,
who was the team just recently? Utah. Like, what y'all think about that? Got every player on the team 4
Utah. Yeah. Like that's dope.
That's lit, bro.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
I mean, they had that type of perk in Denver. You know, with everybody on the team had like a car dealership thing, and I'm like, bro, that's dope, because I'm like, not every team in the league do that. And you got a college doing it? When I seen that, I'm like, bruh, the luxury, like.
Yeah.
That can sway. That can sway a kid's decision
for sure.
right there. Like, look, I ain't got no whip. Y'all give me a whip before.
But you know what's crazy too though, James? Like, and it's something about our school. Like our school, you know, once we got there, like I seen, like, bro, we have some big dogs as far as alumni wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that like Wisconsin has so much to offer as far as like companies within the state that I'm sure could give out NIL deals or whatever the case may be. So as far as like I think like getting recruits to be you know, like shined and like, you know, is Wisconsin a place I could go? I mean, we definitely got all the perks and tools that if that's something we wanted to do, we could.
Like I said, when I was there 2019, 2020, we would have kids sit with, you know, professors or alumni that were in certain fields, right, that could tell them about the field, how to get connected and things like that. Like, obviously it'd have to be a conversation within the rules and whatnot, but like kids enjoyed that, saying, oh, like, you a multimillionaire at this company and something I'm interested in. Like, we did that and kids loved it, so we have that luxury.
They have a thing called the Varsity Collective that they started pretty sure like last year that kind of helps, you know, facilitate the relationships with, you know, players and Badger alumni or in different businesses and all that stuff, and I'm sure that kind of helps kind of spew the
another time.
That's another different. I ain't gonna lie, as a recruit, I ain't gonna hear that my first year. You ain't gonna get me with that. You ain't getting me with that. I can get with them cards that and all that.
But I'm saying that's like a part of it though. Like they help like the current players,
like when they join, when they're there,
like all that.
Yeah.
And like,
he said, "I ain't trying to hear
that." You got wild me. You got wild me.
Bro, what?
Damn, I know them boys touching down. What them
picked up in
Where's that?
Wisconsin, no more bills, something around here. I know y'all gonna throw me something.
I gotta ask you though, Mel. Being a kid from Wisconsin,
you
were committed to Iowa at one point. Then you eventually went back to commit to Wisconsin. What was that like? What was your decision making? You know, committing to Iowa and then coming back
the
to
crazy
Wisconsin?
thing about my whole recruiting thing is what people don't know is I wanted to go. I didn't even want to go to Wisconsin at first. Like, I didn't know anything about Wisconsin really. You know, when I used to play the game, I seen McNabb play. I think he went to Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken. And one of my coaches from high school, he went to Syracuse. So he took us on a trip there. Me, Trey, Gino, and I think our kicker. And we stayed at his house and we toured the campus in Syracuse. And I was just like, man, you know, we went to I think it was them versus West Virginia. We went to a game. And I was like, bro, this is so dope. Like, this is the first game ain't nothing like the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, for sure.
Ain't nothing better than the first time. So I went to the campus, blah, blah, blah. I bought a little necklace. The Ernie Davis movie came out. I was lit. I was like, I was going to Syracuse. I want to go to Syracuse so bad. And then I started getting offers and stuff, and Syracuse never called. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, they never called. And, I'm like, by this time I went to, you know, I got an offer. I went to the camp in Wisconsin, got the offer. And now it ain't nothing like ain't nothing like, when I say it ain't nothing like the first time, it ain't nothing like a team that gives you the first offer. You know, that's you know what I mean? Because then once you get the first one is the hardest to get. After that, it come running. So Wisconsin gave me my first, you know, offer. So now it's my first college game and now my first scholarship. So we weighing now. So now Wisconsin got leverage, you know. Yeah. And they was just like the last team to do this and do that. And I'm such a rebel. Like, I've always been. I'm such a rebel. I'm like, well, you know, everybody like Wisconsin here. Maybe I'm thinking of other schools. So that's how I end up committing to Iowa. Yeah. But, you know, Syracuse was my last offer. I was like, I'm done with y'all. I hope we play. Wherever school I go to, I hope we play against y'all. But, you know, I end up going to Iowa. And the only reason I did commit to Iowa over Wisconsin at that point is because when I went to camp at Wisconsin, they had me doing DB drills, and I was like, "There's no way, y'all think I'm coming? I didn't play DB a day in my life. Arguably the hardest position to play, and y'all want me to come to D1 school and play this and get smoked? Absolutely not. I'm trying to go to the league. I can't.
Hey, facts.
That's exclusive content, man. I ain't never know that.
No one knows about that. So I was like, man. So I thought Coach B wanted me to play DB. I'm like, I ain't playing DB. I done smoked. That's when they had Trotterdom in there. Trotterdom was like a big recruit. Smoked Trotter and all them boys in the camp. I was like, man, I didn't dog y'all best recruits in camp. Like, y'all not finna have me be a DB. So I committed to Iowa super early. I got tired of people calling me. It was annoying. And then when I went to Iowa, I went to the Iowa and Ohio State game. And I was sitting there with my cousin. The strength coach, he actually got in some trouble about that. We ain't got to talk about that. But I had a weird feeling about him, though. I felt like he was lying and stuff, and I was just like, I'm not getting a good feel. But I do like the running back coach, and I do like the head coach. And then I went to the game, and then I was just like, I started feeling so-so about it. And then the next week, I had the official to Wisconsin, where they play O State, and then y'all won, and they rushed the field. I was like,
Damn, I mean, that's a big game too.
I think that's a game where you was balling too. Like, y'all was balling, and then they rushed the field. I'm like, bro, I've never seen nothing like this. And then like, Coach B had took the recruits to his house, and he was just like, I had to sit down with him, and I was like, hey man, I ain't playing no DB. I was like, that's the reason I was with Wisconsin. I mean, with Iowa. My dad didn't talk to me for 2 weeks when I committed to Iowa. He was pissed. Like, so he mad. Him and Coach Bostad trying to work on me to get me there on the road. So they had a lot going on behind the scenes that I didn't know about. But, I sat down with Coach B and I was like, hey, like, I want to play running back. I think this is what I'm born to do. And then he was just like, hey, the same thing happened with, one of the old UW legends, John Clay. And he was like, he felt the same way. And he was just telling me, like, man, you from Wisconsin, you come here. He sold me a good pitch. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah. We don't even know what he said.
He did what he needed to do. He did what he needed to do. And once he told me, like, you're going to play running back, this is, I won't put you at DB. I was like, all right, I committed there. I decommitted from Iowa, committed there, and and the rest is history. One of the best decisions of my life, honestly. So, I'm happy. Man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's a little story that nobody knows. I just gave y'all that.
Nobody.
A lot of same thing happened back after they won like the Nag. You know what I'm saying?
So. My boy said Florida.
My dog ain't Herb.
Oh, man. Nah, so Mel, I said something to you about it a couple weeks ago. But as far as like other people, I want other people, like, what does it feel like to know, right? Like, you arguably had the best year as a, like, and this, you arguably had the best year as a running back ever. Like, that year with 2014, bro, you was locked in, right? Like, and I think all us here, right, we all, as a kid, we all dream of, being in that Heisman conversation, right? Like, that getting that invite to New York and being, those top three, like, how does that feel? Like, that whole experience, that's something that you'll be able to, explain to your kids, other, our kids, just being closer than friends. Like, what did that year feel like for you?
It was just crazy, man. Cause, man, the whole year was just crazy. Cause my sophomore year, when me and James was running the ball, I was like, man, like, me and James was balling, right? So, I think I had 1,600, James had 1,500, or vice versa. But we was up there, and I'm like, but out of all those games, it was ridiculous what we were doing, especially splitting the ball. And I was just like, man, like, I can't touch a 200-yard game to save my life. Like, I'm like, it's so hard to get a 200-yard game. And then the next year, it was like every other week I was touching 200. It was just ridiculous, bro. And I just remember, like, I just had to tap in. I knew I think they was bringing in Corey, or Corey was already there, but I was just like, James is gone. I was like, I gotta hold it down. You know what I mean? For the RB room, I just gotta hold the tradition down. I felt like that was like it was a pride thing for me, because they kind of held it down, and I was like, I gotta hold it down for the younger generation and keep it going. And I mean, the year was just crazy, knowing that everybody is just game planning against you, and you still got to go out there and perform. You had the 400-yard game, that was crazy, and backed it up with and then those last two games where we had it versus Nebraska, and we needed to win those to get to the Big Ten championship. Now, we don't need to talk about the Big Ten championship. We got that.
We don't got to talk about that. We don't got to talk about that.
Get there, it was like do or die, honestly. So it was just like, man, it was a crazy year. Just knowing that everybody was depending on you. The Iowa game, honestly, I know I had the Nebraska game. I'm just flashbacking, but the Iowa game was probably like the if not the Outback, the Iowa game was probably second to like one of my favorite games, because it was like we needed that game to get to the Big Ten championship. And I was getting tore up. You know how
we talked about it.
we talked about this ago.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mel, I done told these people. Hey, fam, I'm coming off the field, bro. Mine for you, fam. We in the dog fight. Like it's one of them. Boy, you score, we score. You get a stop, we get a stop. I'm telling Mel, I'm saying, Mel, fam, we just
need
one more.
I vividly remember.
I said, Mel, bro, we need one more.
Like,
boy, looking at me like,
boy,
but fam, he alluded to it like, bro, it was so much weight on his shoulders, not in just that game, all those games. Like he said, the Auburn game, like I remember that too. Like you flamed Auburn, right? And at that point, even like throughout that whole year, like not saying, we didn't have a passing game, but bro, it was literally Mel 40, 30 carries a game. And it, like he said, it was all on him. So for me to be saying like, bro, we need one more, I know he probably feeling like so much.
I didn't think twice about it, though. I was just like, I got it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was like my hips, everything. I was just, bro, it was like the fourth quarter. And it's crazy because he said that, and I'm just like, bro, I gotta tap in. Like I gotta find a way to figure it out. And that drive, the ball came to me every play, and I scored. I ended up scoring. Like I'm just like, bro, it was just one of those shootouts. But like, it was just like, man, that was one of the games. Just off that conversation, that little interaction was that game stuck out to me a lot. And I think that game, I was also like the fastest player to get to like 2000 or something like that in the Big Ten or something like that. So you had all that, and the Heisman thing was bittersweet, man. It was bittersweet for me because it was bittersweet for me.
Yeah. Who won it that year?
Mariota, which honestly, bro, he might have had the craziest year ever at quarterback too. Like
but I still thought I had a chance. It's just crazy because I was, I ended up being second, in history in collegiate football in rushing in a single season. I'm like second in history, and it was just like, okay, I know I got a chance at least, But the things leading up to that, like I went to the Doka Walker event. I met Bo Jackson. He was like my my parent for that, and I got a relationship with him now. So that was really dope for me. But the Heisman experience kind of like, it was dope, but it kind of like sucked for me in a sense not because I didn't win it, but I didn't have like my coach there representing me. Like all the other guys had their coach, and then that was the time where our coach had left. So and I guess I just I guess maybe if I'd have asked Barry Alvarez at that point, should he have came, he probably would have. But like he was taking care of the team at that time too. Just switching over, but I didn't have my head coach there. All the other guys did, and I didn't even have my position coach none of there. And my position coach ended up apologizing. He was like, "Man, I kind of hate that experience for you because you should have had somebody there with you." but he was like, still, I love the way you handled it. But it was still dope, nonetheless. It was my first time in New York. My family got to come. I got to see the Rockefeller tree, all that. I was in there writing my speech. I remember I was like, bro, I was in there. I was like tearing up. I thought I was going to win that. I didn't even say that. Hey, if you was in that room with me that night, you thought I won the trophy. But I was in there. But fake tears, I don't know what you want to call. I was in there tearing up right there. I was showing my boys love. Thought I had it, man. And I just remember sitting in that chair. And Coop, he was like, man, I know I ain't winning that. He was like, they already told me. But he was like, my people already told me that I wasn't going. I didn't have a chance. But I didn't have any people there to tell me anything. So it was just me and the season. I was going off my season and his season. And I was just sitting there. I remember, and I just remember them calling the names. And it was just, bro, it was just slow motion. And I almost cried on screen. I was hurt. I was so hurt. I almost cried on screen. I held together. But just to be there, after seeing Monty being in that position and coming in, and I remember as a freshman putting like the Heisman, printing out a picture and putting it on my little desk at the Regent, which most people don't know about.
Sure.
The old Regent.
Yeah.
And
Regent
man, it was just that year was just so crazy, man. It was just electric, bro. It's just I wouldn't take that back for the world. My best year though was my second year with Jay. I feel like we had a ball, Jay. we had a ball.
That was the year before, right?
Yeah.
Them y'all had the little Dano. Y'all boys was locked in for sure.
That was by far my favorite year as far as just like with my teammates and all of us just like having fun. It was just like it was just fun. It don't matter. It was no dark time. It was just.
That was a good year.
I mean, for the whole year, like my entire time in football, maybe that was probably my best year. And then the second year, it was fun too because I was
that the Russell year too? Or was that your first year?
Nah,
Gotcha.
that was my first year. That was my first year. Yeah, I wasn't doing nothing right there.
Hey, we all been there, man.
It was a good time, man. That year was just, I hate that it don't get talked about much. People be like, oh, when they talk about like, single seasons and players like that, they be like, oh, this player had this season, this, and they never mention me ever. Like I'm never in conversations when I see the post, and I'm just like, dang, but
we know
I wonder
for sure.
how that
it's in the record books.
Yeah.
Experienced it.
For sure.
Nah, we know for sure, fam.
Go ahead, Warren. You can
Like but like it was real deal like watching a superhero play, fam. Just because I don't think a lot of people too as well. Maybe an analysis should know, but just the dynamics around the team, right? Like I think of a team like the year Mariota or like Coop, like those guys were on teams with legit like all-stars, right? Like first-round players around them. So I'm not going to say that take anything away from their games because I know how great they are as players, but a lot of things are easier when there's better players around you. Like I look at somebody like me, like I had TJ Watt. Bro, it was easy to cover, fam. I didn't have to cover for, so long. But when you think about your year, like not taking away, we had guys that could make plays, but again, it was all on you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that should be taken into account when we talk about players and their seasons and how special they are, bro. Because, like I said, you are arguably the best season as a back and as a player ever, bro. So,
most definitely.
Give me your flowers, fam. You deserve it. For sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, my question is kind of outside of football. Like in the off season, I see you got your golf game going. Go getting together with Vibes Golf Club. Tell us about it. Yeah. Tell us how your golf game looking. You hitting the PGA Tour anytime soon?
Yeah.
I was about to say, send some merch. Go ahead.
I had fire too, fam.
Hey.
Yeah, that's clean.
That hat. That blue and red. I ain't gonna lie, Jane. That thing fire, fam. You better.
That's on the site. You better order that.
Hey, man. The way I talk out there, you think I won a couple majors. I'm gonna talk my trash, man, but this is a good way, man. We trying to make the game more diverse and accessible to just people of all backgrounds, neighborhoods, colors. Don't matter if you white, black, blue, You know, we want you to enjoy the game because it's a lovely game, man, and we making our stride with that, man. So we gonna make a change. You know, I feel like golf for so many years have been like a status sport. You know, you either have to have money to have it, or you have to be this type of caliber of athlete. You know, just to the general population. I don't think I've seen a golf club until I was like in high school or something. I hadn't to touch one, like, you know. And I was talking to my cousin. You know, he's 32. He was like, bro, I never even held a golf club until, you know, I came and kicked it with y'all at y'all little golf tournament. So, you know, it's cool, man. It was definitely new to me from the start. You know, Noe, who also went to college with us, started it, gave us the idea, and you know, we all kind of just fit the mold and the pieces to what we need to do to help this thing grow. And, you know, when I started, I'm just like, bro, this game is actually dope. Like, I don't think many people understand, like, it's therapeutic in a way. Like, you golfing for like 4 hours or so, but, you know, you're off your phone majority of the time. You know, you get away from that. You get away from the social media. You get to kind of just see the world for what it is at that point. You get to, you know, you're in tune with the conversation you're having with the people that's there. You know, it's just like, man, I'm away from the world. I'm with the guys that surround me, and we're just having fun, you know. And we just want to give that to everybody. My golf game sucks, but I'm working on stuff.
Yeah, you're having fun with it. That's the most important thing.
It's fun, man. It takes up a lot of my time, you know, in the off season mostly because, you know, I'm just either football, I'm training, you know, so that kind of just gives me another avenue to kind of enjoy life a little bit. So that's another reason. And it gives me an excuse to be around my friends. We keep in touch because of it a lot more, too. And we keep in touch a good amount. But I think that also helps. You know, we all have to link together and do this golf event or that, or have to work with the kids. You know, so it's therapeutic in that way, too. And another way for all of us to continue to stay together, man. So I love that aspect of it. You know, that's probably, you know, us doing this, the Vibes Golf Club was, you know, it was a good move, I think, you know. And it was something so unthought of, and I just didn't know that, you know, this would be something in my life I would be doing. And here I am, so.
Appreciate that. Shout out to the Vibes.
That's dope, man. Shout out to the Vibes Golf Club. I know I haven't been to an event just yet, but I'll definitely be there for sure. You know, shout out to
check it out, Doug.
shout out to Melvin Gordon. Yeah, 100%.
I think the baseball players, I think, adjust really well. I think maybe not, but I think you will catch on.
We're gonna have to slide the talk off for a little bit first.
Connect with the ball, yeah. We got
Fam, I don't went to Top Golf with them boys, man. That thing get discouraging, boys. Get discouraging if you.
Golf is not an easy game, man. But like I said, shout out to Melvin Gordon. We appreciate you joining us on the Camp Randall Platoon podcast. Got exclusive content for you. Be bringing more of it all season long. But shout out to Melvin Gordon. Shout out to Vibes Golf Club. Make sure y'all
check James, it out. Before we go, I got a question for you.
What's up?
I got a question for you. Who, and then you can ask me the question back. Who do you think at this point is the best running back that came through Wisconsin? And I wouldn't be offended if it's not me, but I just no. I know my question. I know.
That's tough, man.
Just taking yourself out of the equation.
Yeah,
hey, don't try yourself, bro. Don't do yourself like that. You was a baller, bro.
No, I'm not
all purpose.
I be trying to tell, bro.
Like, bro.
He on.
Yeah, you tweaking.
Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. It's okay.
I know I was a good player, but I'm not in the same category as them. The boy rushed for over 2,000.
But what was your receiving numbers though? Like for a back, your receiving numbers was nice too.
I mean, I ain't really catch nothing until like my senior year when we started throwing us the ball, like, and all that stuff. So that don't really matter. But the best back, ooh, that's tough, man.
You got some good ones.
It's for me. It's out of you, Monty, or JT. It's hard. I love Rondé too. I'm gonna just speak from like the time, from like more recent time, but. JT, what he did, I mean, I feel like he had less talent around him, too, in the way, you know, he had to carry the load, kind of like you did. It's kind of similar, just the explosive plays, you know, game in, game out, You know, like I said, there wasn't many guys around him to help him out, and he was just dynamic every single week. And I didn't know nothing about him until, you know, like a few games into the year. I'm like, okay, this dude got something to him, and then every week it just
better and better.
Rip it runs off. So it's hard, but none of them can almost top like either your year or Monty's year. I feel like Monty he had like
38.
I think he was literally unstoppable. Unstoppable my sophomore year. I was over there playing outside. Wishing I was in the game while he was out there cutting the rug, showing out. And then your year was crazy, man. Like I said, being a rookie in the NFL, I wasn't playing really much that year, so I was really in tune to all the games, watching you play, dog. That joke was special, man. I think I was in. I might have been in Green Bay or something. We were playing the Packers when y'all had that game against Nebraska when it was snowing and all that. I'm like, I got to the hotel. I think you probably had like 200 yards.
You going
at some
crazy?
Point. I look up, they're 400. I'm like, this dude. Like, he ain't gonna stop it. He ain't even play the fourth quarter. I'm
6.
Like, man, it's special. But I tell you, my all-time favorite performance for you, dog, that Auburn game, and that fourth down.
Boy.
When that boy hit paint, left side of the field.
That's my favorite game.
Because like we know we all in college, SEC this, SEC that, so I know all of us, we be chomping at the bit when you get the opportunity to play a team like that. You want to show out. And like I said,
they had a player
running back.
Hey, we stuck them too. What's up? Yeah,
Where
big
is
time. You feel it?
Got them boys torched, man.
So who would you say
The
is
best? Well, I didn't get to see. The thing is, and I'm speaking from collectively what I've seen, or what I've seen, or heard of. You know, Allen Amici he won the Heisman, and you know he from my city. Yeah. I ain't never see Allen Amici play.
Yeah, I ain't never seen the tape.
I ain't seen the tape. You know, Ron Dane, obviously what he did speaks for itself. He won the Heisman. I think JT, bro. I mean, and that's including myself. Like, just career-wise, like, obviously I had the best season, and it was just like, and maybe, like, you know, any of us could have did good. You know, I had you in front of me. You had Monty in front of you. You know, it was just like a situation to where we couldn't do anything about it. It was just the cards we were dealt with, you know? And, you know, that was just like I guess the con, if you want to say. You know, we had to wait our turn, pretty much. You know, so we couldn't have a body of work like he had. You know, and he was doing 2,000 yards coming in as a freshman. Like, that's ridiculous, bro. Like, and the thing is, too, like, I think played a big role is, like, he didn't have a James White or Monty Ball. Now, he did, you know, like I said, he balled out and he didn't have, like, no guys sitting in front of him. But that could have been a con, too, because you have to teach yourself how to work. You have to teach yourself, like, how to go through this. Like, I had y'all to, like, okay, this is how you work. Because I feel like you were the most consistent player. Like, my whole time there, I probably seen you mess up one time maybe. Like, you know, and that was probably QB fault. Who knows? Like, you rarely messed up. So you had the consistency. Monty was just like, but I've got to watch y'all like there. I was like, this how this works. This how Monty works. We seen how Monty worked in the offseason. Yeah. Seen how you worked in the offseason. JT didn't have neither one of us. Mm-hmm. He had to just go out there and just go. And I'm like, bro, that's crazy. Like, to do that. And I just, like, body of work-wise, bro, like, that's just ridiculous. He went 2,000 twice, I think. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. It's hard to say because Monty, like, had, like, a crazy, you know, his body of work is crazy, too. Like,
crazy, too,
yeah. We can't just – we not going to look over Monty Ball for sure. And his body of work. John Clay was crazy, like. You know, you had a couple of guys that went through there and did their thing, and then Ron Dane, I mean, he speaks for himself. You know, his body.
Them numbers jump off the chart.
But I think if JT would have stayed 4 years, I mean, it would have been like no question
all time.
You know, yeah, like I think he's easily going into the College Football Hall of Fame, like without question. But you know, to me, I think he probably was the best running back Badger to come through there. But single season, but body of work wise, it's just like
I don't know if y'all.
JT might.
It might be. It didn't come with a Heisman, but I mean, if Ron Dane go for 2,000
one thing I liked
points,
about
I feel like if he did, it's close. If he did,
well, I didn't really
Crazy
get to
part
watch it,
is-
but it's
yeah.
I ain't really get a chance to watch Monty. Like, I mean, I watched him. I knew he was going crazy. But, like, I think even, like, you and JT, one thing I always liked about y'all, and a lot of backs don't have it, but y'all were always able to strike at any moment. And that's something I think I don't want to say is, like, underrated in certain backs, but, like, as a defensive back playing that, right? Like, I know, okay, we playing Melvin this week.
He getting there, yeah.
But
He gonna get to the third.
that's what I'm saying, and that's the thing. Is like it's one thing to pick up 30 and get tackled, but it's another thing to be able to play. And it's like, bro, if he get past this first, and it's him and the linebacker, it's gonna be looking real dark. And that's something about you and JT that, like, bro, y'all were so fast, and even if it might have not showed up, you know what I'm saying, like 40 fast or whatever the case is, but. Bro, when you out there on that field and you gotta catch him and he done struck past the linebacker and it's you the safety.
Bro, that's pursuit drill emphasis.
They gone.
Pursuit drill
That's
emphasis.
what I loved about y'all too. Man, what pursuit drill?
That's all you
What
get.
pursuit drill? Them people gone. Talking about dive at his legs. Coach, he 5 yards. He already in the end zone. I'm wasting
Like the real
time.
thing. You get
Yeah.
the game, dude. It's a completely
But
different.
yeah, I appreciate y'all boys for having me on, man. This is dope, man. This is dope. Opportunity, man.
It was dope for sure, man.
Definitely.
I'm so
Yeah,
happy you
yeah,
was
for
able to
sure,
get
man.
on, fam. I've been telling them boys about that story at Iowa I like, boy, I don't know what safety that was, but hey, listen. Hey, I don't know if this is recording, but if you want to talk about like boundaries, like bro, them people have. Yeah, we ain't even got
out of bounds, man. I'll tell them boys, like, that's the only game where, like, I was running and then I got hit, boom, and I was waking off the ground like, man, how'd I get here? I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was like, man, these boys hit. And then they called another run right after that. I was like, all right, tap in, Mel. Like, you had to
All right, here we go.
literally, like, I had to literally.
Had to psych
you gotta be a little
yourself.
crazy to play running back. You got to be a little psychotic, just a tad bit. Because you got to, like.
No, get
that
30 a
pain,
game.
You got to be able to block out.
Hit.
Yeah, I blacked out that game. Like, that hit. I remember a white flag. Like, boy, I never said I got a concussion, but if I did, I'm pretty sure that was the play right there.
Oh man, yes sir, man. But that's a wrap for this Camp Randall Platoon podcast.
Definitely.
We appreciate Melvin for joining us. Like I said, exclusive content, exclusive interviews, share some information that I'm sure I didn't know.
Exclusive.
Right, the rest of the world didn't
I ain't know either.
So, yeah, appreciate you joining
Yeah,
us.
man. Thank y'all, boy.
Appreciate it, family.